Hello, 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 party people. Hey, it's your host, Matt Morgan, and you're tuning in to another episode of Car Musings. How's everybody doing today? How is everybody today? Is it a good day? How's your integrity? Are you keeping it in check? This is the question you got to ask yourself because only you can control the future and the world around you. So, you know what? Do your best. Do your best to keep your head on straight and doing the right thing. Because you know what, you got to influence all those, you know, Neanderthals out there. You got to influence all those people that just don't get it. You know, you got to set the example for them because they're just too ignorant and arrogant to figure it out themselves. Yeah, and I'm your host, Matt Morgan. You're listening to Car Musings, and hey, have you checked out the madmorgan.com lately? There's new articles, new posts up there, new information sources, and of course, a full listing of all our podcasts and our episodes. Check it out, themadmorgan.com. And while you're there, hey, share it with people. Let other people know. Spread the good word. And you know what? If you're doing better than most right now financially, see if you give a little support for the actual show to help us out, because we would appreciate that. Because personally, this is all coming out of our pocket each month, and we could use a little help. There's multiple ways there, and if those ways don't work for you, by all means, use our contact form, and send us a message. Reach out to us, because we're always looking for help, support, sharing. And as I said, it doesn't have to be financial. You can just share us with people, tell people about us, all that fun stuff. That works for us as well. So we would appreciate that. Anyways, today was kind of one of those impromptu, last minute, spur of the moment type deals. I just, got to thinking, and I'm like, I'm traveling to an appointment right now, but I'm like, do I, try to make the world a better place, or just crank up the tunes and rock out for a bit to motivate my day? And I'm like, you know what? I think the world needs more healing. I need the world needs more of a message. I think the world needs more of a nudge. The domino effect to try to make things better, and not just for myself, but for everybody. It's a brave new world out there, my friends, and it is getting better. It is getting better. I am going to say it is getting better. There is signs that the right decisions are being made in some capacity. I mean, we're screwing up in other areas, but at least some major areas that are a concern to a lot of people right now, and not just in Canada, actually internationally. There seems to be an uproar because a lot of countries are. It's funny, and I want to say this: a lot of countries don't like the migration bullshit. They don't want the immigrants in their country because you know why? Countries like India, those people are uncivilized, are coming over. They're not following our methods, our ways, our customs. They're bullying our citizens. They are being pests, breaking the rules, not doing what should be done in the countries that are taking them in and helping them. And yes, I am picking on you, India. I am, because I'm seeing so much coming from your neck of the woods, and you're not assimilating. You're not assimilating. You're not. You're disregarding our ways. You're disregarding our principles. You're disregarding all that stuff like that, and you're bringing the problems from India to the rest of the world. And a lot of countries are fed up with it. They don't want you in there, and it's only yourself to blame, because it's not remote incidences. It is you. You and your culture, you and your people are thinking that you can just bring India with you and make little Indias all over the place of the world. It's not the fucking way it works. Okay? And we'll call on the Chinese if we have to. That frankly, they have a grudge with you. At least they actually do produce something to a degree. So, just letting you know, this is not a racist chant. This is an observation by many countries that right now are protesting, and a lot of it seems to be in your direction. So maybe you might want to change your PR methods on how you go about doing stuff, because otherwise there's going to be a lot of shipping back home. And, I'm just letting you know, it's not a guarantee that you get to stay, because you come into a country and you buy stuff, and you buy a business and all that crap like that. There's no guarantees that you get to stay because of that shit. So, throw your fucking rubies somewhere else, your money and all that stuff like that. We don't care. We don't care. We rather have our our safety, our way of that we do things, and everything else. And you know what? It's interesting. I've watched an article. This is the irony of this. An article. I watched a video how the First Nations people who have been slanderously called Indians in the course of history are pissed off because they had no decision-making process in this and weren't informed in a lot of this stuff, and they're not happy about it. How ironic is that? The ones that were dubbed Indians are not happy that the actual Indians are here. Do you see the art? I just think it's funny. I mean, call me my zany sense of humor, but I just think that's kind of funny. Okay, all that aside, listen, folks, I've had this discussion with you before. If another country were to take me and my family in, I would conform to that customs ways, that country's ways, the way things were done wherever I was. Okay? Not my native land. It's not where I was born, not where, everything else. My countries went to shit. And I just, I was fortunate enough that another country took me in. And you know what? I'd be so grateful that, yes, I would conform to their ways because that's what you do. If somebody invites you over for dinner, do you come into their house and shit on their friggin' living room floor? No. That might be the way you do things at home. But that's not the way that those people that invited you into their home, into their house, do things. And that's what a lot of these immigrants are doing. They're coming into our country. We're taking them in, giving them a second start because they've destroyed their friggin' place. And they're coming into our living room and shitting on our floors in our living rooms. So, yeah, it might sound a little extreme, but that's the way it's going. That's the way it's going. You got these Palestinian protesters burning flags and everything. Let's fucking ship them back. You know what? You love Palestine so much, fucking go back there. All right? And if you're not from there, fuck, you're going there now. Don't disrespect our flag. Don't disrespect our country. It's our home. All right? I want to lay the record down on this one because I feel like a broken record fucking repeating myself every single freaking time. Enough is enough. And I'm sorry, but the more I turn on the news and the more I see all this crap on the news, and the more I hear these reports of these criminal organizations, what seem to be a common denominator in every single occasion, the more I start looking at this going, fuck, excuse my language, but Trump's got the great idea. ICE is an awesome idea. Now, the only way I'm going to change that icing on the cake, so to speak, is I don't believe that law-abiding, hard-working citizens that came from other countries that were taken in should be deported. I think it should be on a case-by-case scenario. If you're a criminal, you broke the law, bye. You have any offenses of your suspicion, bye. You shouldn't be based on your origins, your heritage, or your culture. You shouldn't be based on any of that. If you've actually been taken in by a country and you are working your ass off and you are being a law-abiding citizen and you're living a wholesome life and you have integrity and all that stuff like that, damn it, you are better than our citizens on occasion. So, you know what? Welcome aboard. Here's your permanent friggin' visa. Welcome, 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 welcome. But if you step out of line and you do scandalous, nefarious things, fuck, you're out. Closing the door, locking the door, you're not welcome back. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You had your chance at a better life, you fucked it up. Simple as that. These are not unfair conditions. These are not unfair terms. I mean, this is logical. It's freaking logical. Fuck you and the race card. Fuck you and you're being biased and prejudiced and everything else. Fuck all that. It's common sense. Reverse the roles. How would you feel? That's what I'm saying. Don't come into a country's house or home and shit on their fucking living room floor. That's not the way it's done. Take off your shoes, be polite, sit nicely, have some polite conversation, and friggin' live your life, but live it within the conditions of somebody that's given you that life. You don't deserve, it's not your right for other countries to take you in. It has nothing to do with that. It's not your right for another country to open their home to you. So don't even think about that for 1 second that, it's your right. It's your human right. It's not your fucking human right. Either be a law abiding good citizen or get the fuck out. Not rocket science. Not rocket science. I'm just telling you, it's not rocket science. But you know what? A lot of people are doing it, and then they're surprised that their visas are getting denied and they're being told to leave and they're being kicked out. And you know what? You really set the bad precedence and the bad example for all your other country people. Okay? You really do. Because we see enough coming from a particular demographic, and you're not setting a good example for all those people that are law abiding, that have morals and integrity and good values and everything else. You're setting a bad example for them, and they're actually trying to have good lives. They're actually trying to do the right thing. They're actually trying to seize the opportunities that they've been given. But you're ruining it for them too. So don't be a selfish bastard and think about other people other than yourself. Like, seriously. It's not rocket science. Like, fucking think of other people with kids and families. If you want to be some idiot kid with a friggin' souped up, loud, annoying sports car, which frankly will not serve you beyond the age of 19, because you'll look like a complete imbecile. If you want to do that crap, then you know what? Only hurt yourself. You want to speed, you want to be reckless driver. It's not Fast and the friggin' Furious. It's nothing like that. If you want to do that shit, go on a backcountry road where the only thing you're going to kill is yourself. Okay? This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, you fuckers. So, just saying, don't come into somebody's home and shit on their friggin' floor. And I'm happy to hear that deportations are happening. I'm just hoping that Canada's a little smarter than the States is. And they're actually looking at, the actual individual and going, okay, well, you fucked up. You're not doing the right thing, bye-bye. That's what I'm hoping, right? Because let's be honest, I'm hoping that the states, although they're doing these mass deportations, they will consider case-by-case scenarios once the dust is settled. I really do, because there are some really good people of different cultures. I met Filipinos and Japanese and Koreans and friggin' Brazilians and all this stuff. People from all over the friggin' world. And there's a lot of good people in this world. Don't kid yourself. There's a lot of good people in this world, but there's only 1 out of 100 psycho fucking assholes out there that frankly deserve to be friggin' lawn fertilizer. Okay? And that's the elements. That's the fly in the ointment that makes it bad for everybody else. Okay? So that's the element that we got to deal with. But we got to shift through a lot of rocks to find the diamonds. Just say it. I believe equality for everybody. I believe opportunity for everybody. I believe that is something that should just be a standard for everybody. Okay? Give it an opportunity, prove it. I've had that opportunity. I've worked for employers, and basically they gave me opportunities. And I seize those opportunities because the thing is that here you go, you have an opportunity here. Do it right, and you'll have a future. Don't do it right, then you know what? It's only yourself to blame. That's what it comes down to. Don't blame anybody else for your fuck-ups. At the end of the day, look at what you're doing, look at your actions, and say to yourself, am I doing the right thing? Okay, I'm doing the right thing. Great. If you're not doing the right thing, and you get busted, your rights are denied, you get shit for it, that's on you. That's on you. That's on nobody else. And for fuck's sake, stop blaming the white man. That's getting old, all right? That shit's getting old. Enough of that crap. You know, that scapegoat can only be used for so long, and that kind of ended like 20 years ago. You got to remember, the 1% want the 99% to keep fighting. It's profitable for them. So you're just, if you're going through a shitty situation in life, it's because you're not realizing that you fighting your neighbors is profitable for the 1%. It is. They're feeding all this shit into your head. They're feeding all these lies into your head. They're feeding all this crap that's basically making you be mad at everything. They're feeding it into you because it's profitable for them. End of story. And until all these arrogant, ignorant assholes realize this, is the only time that there's going to be change. But you know what? I'm really happy to see that there is a lot of videos from different demographics, especially the quote-unquote black community, and I really hate the use of color. I just consider them, you know, people with great tans or just whatever. But the thing is that I'm really glad to see that there's a movement of calling people out on their shit. Like, I'm really liking that. Like, it's really awesome to see that people are being called out on their shit. Like, and they're calling out their own community, which is great. I mean, I'm looking at that going, okay, that's awesome. Like, because I can't say it. You know, I can't say it because, oh, I'm white. Okay, well, you can't say it because you're white. Well, I'd be just wrong if you did. What's wrong with you? But, you know, if I'm, you know, if I'm of that culture and that tone, well, okay, it's okay to say it. Great. I'm glad somebody's saying it. Because if I can't say it, I'm glad somebody's pointing it out. Because it's true. And it's stuff that a lot of us have sat back for a while going, yeah, well, if you didn't do this, you wouldn't have this. You know, cause and effect. Like, hello, it's not rocket science. A lot of them think it's rocket science. They're like, down with Whitey. Like, get over it, fuck. Get over it. All your fuck ups are not because of the freaking Caucasians. Like, seriously. So I'm watching a lot of videos from a lot of these gentlemen that are speaking up and calling out the bullshit that's going on in their own communities. And I think that's great. I think every community should do that. Every culture should do that. Call out the bullshit in their own neighborhoods, in their own communities. Call out that shit. Call out that shit and put an end to it. Call them out on their shit. Because, you know, unless somebody points it out to them that they're being fucking ridiculous, they're not going to clue in. Because they think it's okay to do. They're thinking it's acceptable in their neck of the woods. And it's not. It's not. You're creating more problems for yourself. You really are. So, yeah. If you're in a certain demographic or culture or, you know, people, and you got people that are fucking up, call them out on that shit. Put it on social media. Speak out. Do something about it. Because the only way you're going to promote change is to friggin' recognize that there's an issue, point out the issue, and basically promote the positive change. Because maybe people are just so stupid that they don't realize that they're doing the wrong thing. They're uneducated. You know? They're uneducated. And you can't blanket the statements. You can't. Because the more and more videos I see of quote-unquote, yes, you know, these like, I hate using it again, but again, the black people that are going into stores and ripping off everything and, you know, grabbing and dashing and everything else, you know, that really pisses me off. And I'm not saying they're the only ones that do it, but you see a lot of the videos that are like that, and that's just promoting hate. But at the same time, they shouldn't be doing it in the first place. You know? They shouldn't be doing it in the first place. So, the other day, I'm in Wally Mart. And I'm like, I see this guy. And yeah, he's of that demographic. And he looks like a good person and everything else, and he's just doing his shopping, looking at cleaning products, looking at mops, everything else. So, he's being a law-abiding, good member of society, and so it's not across the board. There is a certain element that basically does this. It's not everybody. So that's one thing you got to keep in mind. Don't look at every single one and go, fuck, you're all bad. Don't do that. But at the same time, if you know there's bad in your neck of the woods, point it out. Especially if you're one of those law-abiding citizens. Point it out. Speak out against it. Get them to realize the error of their ways. It's the only way you're going to promote change is if you educate. And the only way you're going to educate is if you actually point it out and say, listen, assholes, stop this. I really hate the fact that, the older I get, the more clearer I see the world. In some regards, I hate that because it really does get me angry to see what we've become as a society. It really angers me to see that, the next world being left for my kids and the next generations, whether my kids or not, is the condition in which it's in. And it's just really, 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 really a piss off because there's no reason for it. We didn't adopt these ways from other cultures. We have our own way. Every country has its own way of doing things, and that's acceptable by the majority. If you're from a backward country or a completely lawless country or value principle country, and that's the way you want to live, that's fine. That's on you. That's the way your country, your culture, your people have actually accepted things as the way they are. But we won't accept that when you come into another country that takes you into their home and you try to change things. It doesn't work that way. And we will take up arms. And we will do what we can to remove that. Don't kid yourself. I see a lot of these fucking, gang-banging friggin' Indians fucking running around, shooting off shit in protected reserves, leaving their garbage everywhere and everything else because they snuck into the country unlawfully and all that stuff like that. And it really pisses me off. But you know what? There's a counterpart to you as well. Okay? There's a counterpart to you as well. And there is people that will deal with you. Don't think that you're untouchable, because you are touchable. And there is an equal criminal element that won't like your shit and will want to take care of you as a problem. Alright? You will learn what North American justice is all about. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. You do not rule these streets, no matter how backward of a country you come from. They will catch up with you. Change your ways or go back to where you came from. Simple as that. Because your days are numbered. The days are numbered across the board. I agree the government sucks at times. I agree the rules are leading towards the rich. I agree that there's a lot of things that are unfair in the way that things are ran. But you can still color in between the lines, and still have a good life. It is possible, right? And I understand some crimes are needed. But I don't agree with the violent crimes unless you're defending yourself and your family. All right? But other than that, beyond that scope, there's no need for it. Because the system's just going to come down on you. The system was made to keep everybody happy and safe. But, if you're keep breaking the laws, eventually somebody's going to put their foot down and go, no. So, I want you to keep that in mind. Anyways, all that being said, I'm not going to rant on about this one. I'm almost at my destination and shit. So, all I'm going to say, I'm speaking to everybody, worldwide, international-wide. Just be a law-abiding citizen and do the right thing. if someone helps you, don't shit on their freaking lawn. Like, recognize, respect, appreciate. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. You know? Don't make it any more difficult than it has to be. Just be a law abiding citizen, do the right thing, go from there. That's all I'm asking, my friends. That's all I'm asking. You know? Anyways, I'm Rosemad Morgan. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Car Musings. I appreciate you being here. Show some love, either share, tell people about us, whatever. I would appreciate that. If you have the means, by all means, throw some donations our way. We'd appreciate that as well. Love you for it. Thanks for tuning in. Keep your integrity in check. And Mad Morgan signing off, and I will see you next episode.